Hello everybody and welcome back. Today's block is called Road to California. It's going to be a 12-inch block for my sampler quilt. For that you are going to need 10 of two different fabrics that are 2.5-inch squares and 2 of two different fabrics that are 5-inch squares. So first we're going to make our 2.5-inch squares into sets. So we're just going to fold this over. And I'm going to sew it right down the side there. I already did some of them, so that is why you're only seeing one. Then we're going to take our two 5-inch squares, our 4 5-inch squares, and we're going to match them up. So I'm just going to lay it face to face. Let's move this out of the way for now. Face to face. Well, let's iron it a little. That white is a little wonky. Now let's cool it off or my pin won't work. And we're going to take our ruler, and now I use this 1/2-inch ruler from Omnigrid, but you could use any ruler will lay. You could lay this one with a 1/4 inch and draw down the line there. Just to show you, I'll do it. The only difference is you would have to spin it around then and do the other side, which is no big deal. Honestly, use what you have. Do not go buy specialty rulers if you don't want them or have a need for them. So then I'm gonna put a pin in that on either side. And then we are going to sew just a hair down the inside of each of these lines. So let's head over to the sewing station, we'll call it. And I'm going to sew this one first because that's what I have here. And then we do just a hair on the inside of each of these. Spin it around. Let me cut these off while I've got them hanging off this side. We'll head back over. Now, I may have done this wrong, actually, because I do want them all to go to the lines all to go the same way. And I guess I did it right because, no, I did not do it right. So I'm actually going to undo that because all the other ones go the same way. So I'm going to sew the other side of that. And then I'll pick it out. Well, I'll pick it out first. Let's just do that. Now I'm going to lay it out. And if I open it back up, that's how I need to do it. I'll figure it out. So my lines all go the same way, just like they do on all of these. So now I'll just sew down that again. Straight stitch. I should have checked that first, but clearly I didn't, so. And then I did iron them all to the red side, just because. And now before we move on, we're going to just make this into the 4-patch. Now you could sew, if you had strips, you could just sew strips together and subcut them. Whatever works best for you. Whatever you want to do. All right, let's go sew this. And then it does not matter. These are all the same then. When you, we'll go ahead and iron that off too, set that seam. So these will all just lay here to the side. Now we're going to take this and cut it in half. Let's move this. It's kind of in my way. Let's lay our ruler corner to corner. And slot them apart. And I've already done 2. So you're going to end up with 5 4 patches and 4 half square triangles. Let's iron this open. And now we are going to trim these down to 4.5. Excuse me. So for that, let's double check that. Yep, 4.5. So to do that, we're going to lay one down. We're going to line up our diagonal line with our stitch line. And you want to make sure you have enough to trim off and that there's some overlapping on the 4.5 lines on the back side. Place that away. Flip it around. Now you're going to do the same thing. Line up your diagonal line, but you're also going to line up the 4.5 inch point and your 4.5 inch lines on the other 2 sides. And that's what gives you a perfect square. Now we're going to do it again. Line up your diagonal, and you want to make sure you're trimming a little off to make them straight, but also have enough to trim on the other 2 sides. Spin it around. Same thing, line up the diagonal and your 4.5 inch point and lines. And honestly, if 2 of those are lined up, they should all 4 be lined up. Or you've done something off. Okay, so now we're going to lay it out. And I always refer to my picture for that. So we're going to start with these. We're going to lay these like hourglasses, just like that. And then our other ones are the reds are all going to go in the top right of the section, just like that. And if I did it right, my reds are all going the same way. So now we're just going to sew them into rows. Just going to fold it over and we'll sew these, and then we'll come back, iron them open, and get the other one. Actually, these are big enough. I think I'm just going to pull from here. So we're going to get it all sewn at the same time. Grab the next one. Last row. Just lining it up. Now we'll cut the first one off. I think I lost my scissors. I thought I heard something fall. Just use a seam ripper. I'm going to open it up and attach my last or second 4 patch of the row to this half square triangle. Grab the next one, and then that row, the 4 patches, the middle one, so we'll just grab the second half square triangle, and our last row. And again, with this one, we attach it to the half square triangle because it is the second 4 patch of the row. I have to find those scissors. Alright, I found them. Now let's iron them open. Let's iron them to the 4 patch. So no matter what the row, we're going to iron it to the 4 patch. And then we'll lay it back out. That's fine. So the 4 patches the middle, and the red goes in the top, but that would be the same either way. But our yellows point to the middle, just like on the bottom one. The yellow points to the middle and the top. So now we're just going to fold it over and pin it into rows. Pin the rows together at the seam and the end, and then this seam, and let's throw one in the beginning. Now let's spin it around, and we're going to fold this open, and we're just going to pin this side too. Seam in the end, and then this seam, and this one I'm just going to hold at the beginning because I'm going right next door, we'll call it. I'm going to sew it. Now we are going to take this off and spin it around. Do the other side. I like to take the pins out as I go. Otherwise, I get a surprise sometimes. And we're done. So this one I'm going to iron to the top and bottom, just because. Ooh, that one's looking rough. It's okay. I promise. There it is. What did I say it was called? It's called Road to California. I may have made this one before. You never know. I'll have to fix that. It's already coming apart. That's fine. Alright, there it is. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I hope you make it and love it, and I will see y'all next time. Have a great day.